Goa'uld Alkesh. This is BlueBrixx Stargate set 106847. It was released in April 2024 for about €80. This construction block set consists of 1,244 pieces, which are compatible to bricks by other construction blocks companies like Lego, Kobe, Mega, and so on. So far, I showed you several Stargate ships by BlueBrixx, and this ship here is the last ship of the first wave of Stargate sets. As far as I know, we are going to see at least 2 more Stargate sets, but no more ships in this first wave. So let's hope there will be a second wave in which we will find more ships. Like all the other Stargate sets before, this set comes as a BlueBrixx Pro set. A Pro set means that, we get a box with some kind of cover art. Their special sets simply come in plain boxes without any images at all. On the front of this box we get to see the completed ship, and on the back side we get to see the whole build, which means the ship and its stand. The bricks, we also get to see the dimensions of the build, of course. It's going to be 31.8 centimeters by 24 centimeters by 17.7 centimeters. The bricks BlueBrixx uses for their Stargate sets are manufactured by Xingbao, and this is a bit problematic sometimes. The bricks work totally fine. I didn't have any problems with those bricks in any of their Stargate sets so far, but Xingbao bricks come with ugly injection holes on the bricks studs. And you can see here that our final build comes with a lot of visible studs. This is a computer rendered image. Also, the images on the backside are computer rendered, so we don't really get to see those ugly injection holes on the stud, but I'm quite sure we are going to see a lot of those ugly injection holes on the completed build. I hope that the impression of the whole build won't be diminished too much by those ugly injection holes. Well, we are going to see. Now let's open the box. Special sets come with digital building instructions. This is a Pro set, so we get printed building instructions. Sadly, there are no digital building instructions for the set. When we open the instructions, we can see that our set consists of 4 different building sections. The bricks are pre-sorted to each of those building sections, so the bricks come in numbered bags, and for each building section we are going to open the bags with the right number on them. I'm going to start now, of course, with the first building section with step 1-1. So I'm opening all the bags now with number 1 on them. I'm coming back to you as soon as I see something interesting or something simply doesn't work as intended in the building instructions. Step 1-19. The first building section only consists of the stand. So far we have built the stand's base, and right now I'm building 2 of these columns here, which we can place on the base, and here goes the other one, and later we will place the ship on those 2 columns. Those 2 columns look quite okay, but I'm never a fan of building these things. I just don't like the building techniques used here, or the building technique used here. So you can see that we create these columns with the help of a Technic axle, on which we slide down these 2x2 round bricks, which have a hole X-shaped hole in the center. And yeah, we slide down one of those bricks after the other until the whole thing looks like this. The problem here is that these axles here are not the best quality. I really had bad axles in BlueBrixx special sets, and these bricks here, which I guess are also produced by Xingbao, are better quality than most of the axles in special sets, but nevertheless they are not perfect. Sometimes you have to push quite hard to be able to slide down those bricks here, and yeah, hopefully you don't have to do any corrections, because it's hard to slide one of those bricks at a time, but sliding all the bricks at once, this is really difficult. Luckily, we got this little image here next to which we can hold our little segment while building it. And yeah, I would always have a look at this little plate down here, and when it's aligned correctly with the image, then everything should be fine. But we have to have a look at this thing from time to time, because every time we slide down one of those bricks here, we of course push on the plate below, and yeah, it might change its position, and when you notice it too late, it's very difficult to correct the positions of all the pieces at once. Step 1-21. Right now we are building a little Stargate which is attached to the stand, and for the Stargate we need a lot of printed tiles. As you can see, those tiles are pre-attached to this black 8x8 round plate. They do this so that during the printing process they can print on all the tiles in just one single go. All the tiles are perfectly aligned, so yeah, we got perfectly aligned prints. What we are going to do now is that we are detaching those tiles from this black plate, and then we are interlocking them with these blue plates here. The problem now is that they want us to start with the tile in the center, and that's not so easy. There is a hole on the backside of this black plate, so with the help of, for example, this Technic axle here, we can detach the tile in the center, but it's even more difficult to detach now those tiles surrounding the center tile. I can't do it with my finger, and it isn't really easier with a brick separator either. By the way, this is the brick separator which comes with the set here. It's always strange that we got these Xingbao giraffes with some sci-fi sets. It's always funny. Okay, but what to do now? Well, I will simply start from the rim, which means here these outer tiles, which I can easily remove with just my fingers, and then we can remove those tiles here with a brick separator. It's quite easy. BlueBrixx knows about this problem. They have stated this in several of their videos now, and they announced that in future sets they also will use the method which I did right now, or which I'm going to do. They will put in their instructions, or they will make their instructions such a way that we start with the rim and end with the center tile. By the way, after we have removed all those tiles from the black plate, they want us to throw away that plate. Of course, I'm not going to do this. The plate will stay in my collection. Step 1-28. We have completed the first building section. The stand is complete. Now it's time for the second building section. We are starting with the ship. Step 2-10. Once again, we use this building technique where we don't really interlock the pieces. We simply slide them down the spar here, and then we have to pay attention that we align those pieces here perfectly. I always prefer when we simply interlock bricks, but this here works too. But it's simply not so pleasant to build these kind of little segments. Step 2-30. In this step we are using 4 of these pieces here. The Lego company, for example, doesn't use them. We use these pieces to invert the building direction. So you can see such a piece is a bit thinner than a normal plate, but it gets studs on both sides. So it's easy to place them on the underside of other plates, for example, like this. But we still get now studs on which we can place other stuff. In this step here, the other stuff is simply a large plate. So we place it here like this. Step 2-57. We just have completed the second building section. And as you can see, we didn't use very complicated but nevertheless quite interesting building techniques to achieve this shape here. The sturdiness of the build so far is alright. So from time to time, when you attach other bricks to the build, especially these segments here love to pop off. And you constantly have to reattach them. But I think once the build is complete, also these segments here will stay in place perfectly. Step 3-52. We have completed the third building section. And now our build really has reached a level of stability where you can't break it any longer when you attach more bricks to it. Everything is absolutely sturdy. So the only thing left to do now in the fourth building section is, besides adding a few pieces on the underside of the build, this pyramid-like superstructure here. Step 4-1. Here we got more pieces to reverse the building direction. These 2x2 plates here this time are really as thick as normal plates, and of course they got studs on both sides. And I think once again these are pieces which the Lego company doesn't use. Step 4-71. This is how our pyramid part looks so far. So you can see that we got these 2 segments here, which are already in place, and the third side is missing. It's here. And they are interlocked with these hinges here. And it's not so easy to get these things here in place, because you can see that we have to interlock quite a lot at once, and I'm always afraid that I somehow push too hard and that I destroy the whole build. And now this is the final side of this pyramid, and this doesn't really make it easier. When you are connecting the other 2 sides, you have still one side open from where you can reach in, but this is not possible here with the final side. And yeah, you can see that already some parts start to fall apart. I will give it a try with 2 hands. Alright, I found an easier solution. At least for me it's easier when I attach all these pieces which belong to the hinges and also the 2 plates here on the same segment. And yeah, then we simply have to peek through this gap here and adjust the angle of the hinge until it fits perfectly, and then we can simply push the whole thing down and it should fall into position. Step 4-75. The build is complete. And this last step was a bit problematic. To show you the problem, I have to remove the ship from its stand. I'll be right back. Alright, so you remember here our stand from the first building section, and here we got these axles which are peeking out of these little columns. And yeah, these tips of the axles are supposed to go in these holes here. They are supposed to go completely in there so that this round tile here sits on this transparent round tile. And the problem now is that there was too much of these axle showing or peeking out of the columns on both sides. And yeah, I had to adjust this. And just like I said in one of the steps of the first building section, it's very difficult to adjust these axles once you have put on them that many of those round bricks. So what I did is that I took one of these old brick separators, placed it here like this, and pushed very hard. But at the same time, I had to pay attention that I'm not going to bend it on one side or the other. I don't want to break the axle. We really have to pay attention and push with a lot of force until, yeah, the axle drops down a tiny bit, and after a while I had the right amount of axle still peeking out of the columns, and now it's no problem to place the ship on those axles. Let me try to do this. Is this possible with one hand? Huh. Yep, it worked. Alright, then let's have a look at the ship. So, I probably have placed it the wrong way because the little Stargate down there is barely visible. Let me correct this. Alright, now we can have a proper look at the ship. It's maybe not one of the most beautiful designs of Stargate ships. Before I bought the set, I was thinking if it is even worth buying it. I had much fun building the set, but the model looks a bit like a huge grey blob. But at least it's very sturdy. Alright, so what kind of details can we see here? Well, I don't know too much about the ship. I really don't much about Stargate ships in general, but I think this here is the bridge, and yeah, on the back we get to see the engines. Of course, we got this pyramid-like substructure here, superstructure, which so many of the Goa'uld ships have. And yeah, on the underside we get to see these turrets here. And more engine parts, I guess. Maybe those are the hyperdrive engines, and those are the sublight engines. I don't know. And of course, we get this stand here with this cool little Milky Way Stargate. And of course, a little plaque which tells us that it's an Alkesh by the Goa'uld. And it appears in the Stargate SG-1 series. Well, maybe this is not the most beautiful set of this wave of Stargate sets, but actually I had a lot of fun building it, and it's extremely sturdy now. But during the building process, I really feared that the final set will fall apart when you touch it. To get this shape here, we really did some very shaky building techniques, but once we have put everything together, it's really sturdy. Even this pyramid construction up here. The bricks used for the set did work totally fine. I didn't have any problems with them, but definitely those bricks are not the best quality bricks on the market. So, for example, let's have a look here at the front of the ship. I think here it's clearly visible that, yeah, the tolerances of those bricks are not as perfect as we see them with Lego bricks. But I think the bigger problem is that, as I feared, they come with huge, ugly injection holes, and yeah, these things are quite visible. Even on these gold plate here, gold bars here. Luckily, those injection holes are not too distracting, so yeah, I can live with them. And I think it's not too difficult to exchange them, to replace them with bricks by GoBrixx or Lego, for example. It's only those wedges here that you have to replace, and I think you can replace them without taking the whole build apart. Once again, BlueBrixx did use pieces for the set which are still protected by the Lego company. But this seems to be alright. They have done this for years now in so many sets. I think they must have a deal with the Lego company. Otherwise, I see no reason why they don't get into trouble. Well, I don't think there's much more to say about this ship. At least for me, it's not really the most beautiful Stargate ship there is. The designers did a great job in recreating this ship as a construction blocks model, but let's be honest, it's just a gray pile of bricks. It simply doesn't look so nice. There are way cooler ships in the Stargate universe. For example, here the Aurora or the Prometheus, the Beliskner, and of course the F-302. Of course, there was also this other ship which I didn't like so much, the Wraith Cruiser, but I think the biggest reason why I didn't like it so much is because of the colors. The colors with our Alkesh are absolutely fine, but I'm simply not a fan of this shape. It's not the fault of the designers of the construction block set. It's more a fault of the designers who created the ship for the TV series, I guess. Maybe not every Goa'uld ship should look like, I don't know, a deformed pyramid or something. So, as you can guess, I wouldn't recommend this set here. Better get one of the more complex ships. This ship here also wasn't that easy to build. I think it was the hardest ship to build of all the Stargate ships so far. The hardest, it's not really hard to build, but it was a bit more difficult to build than all the other ships.